This week on Moms Like Us, Artem Chigvintsev explains how Nikki Bella is letting him get his sleep for Dancing with the Stars.
I have to say, Nicole is being a real trooper. I mean, literally during the nighttime, she breastfeed him, she doesn't do the bottle during the night. And she's like, look, what are you gonna do? Stand next to me and watch him feed?
Teddi Mellencamp opens up about how her baby Dove is doing post-surgery.
It was so hard leading up to it. And then she blew me away. I'm like, I can only think if it was like myself or my husband going through that, what we would have been like. And she was just, she just wanted to be held and loved.
Plus, Katy Perry returns to work just 6 weeks after having a baby.
I mean, listen, it's early, but I feel like I don't know, maybe celebrities have a little bit more help, or, some women can just do it and bounce back.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Moms Like Us. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Brianne Mans from Stroller in the City, and welcome to Moms Like Us. Hi, Brianne.
Hey, Christina, how's it going?
How about you?
We're doing great, moving along mid-October already.
Where is this year going?
No, it's so crazy. We were just discussing Halloween plans, which are zero plans right now.
Everything is up in the air. It's going to be very interesting to see how Halloween plays out and what happens. I don't know.
I don't know either. Yep. Everything's up in the air. We want to see what the celebs are doing. We want to hear.
Definitely. Please let us know. Well, before we get to the celeb news of the week, we have to talk about this big trend that is going on. Over-the-top pregnancy photo shoots. I feel like we've been seeing these for years, but a lot of people have been doing it lately. So let's kick it off with Jade Roper, who sent us these gorgeous photos of her and her upcoming third baby. She's about 34 weeks in these pregnancy photos, and she says, baby Tolbert is the size of a cantaloupe, somewhere around 18 inches long and around 5 pounds, according to the pregnancy app I use. I mean, what do you think about these photos? Do you think they're a little over the top or just enough?
I mean, for me, they're over the top. I mean, those wings are just so massive. And this is her third kid too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Would you do one with every child? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like maybe I would incorporate the other kids in the photo shoot. I mean, I don't think I could ever pull off the winged look, but I mean, she looks gorgeous and, I think she looks beautiful, but I don't know if I could pull that off.
I know. I don't think so either. I think the first two I did not have pregnancy photos with, but with my third, I remember just having my husband take a picture of my bump with the other two, holding it. And then literally the next day I went into labor, which was hilarious. So I mean, I think as a trend, I think it's great. Also a trend is nude photos.
Yes. We'll get on the nude photo train.
Right. Kim Kardashian, throwback. She took this one. It was a selfie when she was pregnant with Saint.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she looks beautiful. And then Lala Kent got in on the trend as well. She posted this nude selfie of her little baby bump, which looks like me after I just eat a burrito.
I know. Me too. I kind of like the nude ones.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, it looks beautiful. Again, I don't know if I could do it, but good for them.
Right. Or you can do it and just not show anybody.
Exactly. And of course, more recently, Gigi Hadid shared a full-on high-end photo shoot she did before giving birth. I mean, if I could have one of the best photographers in the world take my photographs for a pregnancy, sign me up.
Oh my God. I thought hers were stunning. I loved her photos.
She looked so beautiful. You mentioned your maternity shoot before. I had booked my maternity shoot. Weather was bad, so we had to push it a couple times. It was scheduled for the day after I gave birth. So, so we didn't get to have that happen. We ended up taking newborn photos instead.
Oh my goodness. Well, the next one.
Totally. All right, let's get to our celeb mom and dad news of the week. And we have to talk about Katy Perry, who went back to American Idol just 6 weeks after giving birth to her first daughter with a fiance, Orlando Bloom. Of course, his ex-wife, Miranda Kerr, congratulated her, said she couldn't be prouder. Katy posted a photo of herself back on the set, says, Mother Milks is back to work at American Idol, and it's utterly, ridiculously moving already. Not pictured my pumping brakes. Of course, she was dressed as a Christian Siriano cow, which I thought was very appropriate. And Miranda commented saying, OMG, you're amazing. Love you. I mean, I think it's great that she is so friendly with Orlando's ex.
Absolutely. Well, they have Orlando and her have a kid together, so I can see you have to have that friendly relationship, right?
You have to. No, totally. It makes everything a lot more easier to kind of go forward. And it seems like Miranda and Katy have been friends for quite some time too. She congratulated them on their engagement and, you know, the pregnancy and the birth of their baby. So she's definitely very much on board.
Totally. Having a healthy relationship with like the exes, I think is so important, like for the children and everything. So good for her.
Kudos to them, totally. And then earlier this month, Katy opened up about motherhood, saying that it's a popular misconception that being a mom isn't a full-time job. She tweeted that when moms finally go back to work, it's not like they're coming off of months of time off. They're coming off of a full-time job. And that's called being a mom. She says, call your mom, tell her that you love her, appreciate her, and advocate for paid family leave. I love my job.
I love her for saying
I love that. I do. I really, really love that. And I mean, what do you think about going back to work after just 6 weeks?
I mean, listen, it's early, but I feel like with, I don't know, maybe celebrities have a little bit more help, or, you know, some women can just do it and like bounce back, you know? So I feel like for me, like with my third, because I do work from home most of the time, I was taking conference calls like right after I delivered like
Really?
my child. Cause I was like, okay, well, this is my business. You know, it's not like I have this office job that I get the paid time leave, because I don't get that, you know?
Right.
So I think good for her.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it, great. And like you said, a lot of people don't have the luxury of, you know, getting that paid family leave, which is so important. And, you know, they have to go back to work after a certain amount of time. You know, I think after 6 weeks, I was still like a hormonal mess, but so I don't know if I would have been able to do it. But now it might be interesting to see if moms do go back to work, because they are working from home, a lot more people now. So I wonder if people will start going back a little bit earlier.
I wonder what that trend will be, right? Because I feel like everyone is homebound now. So I wonder.
Right. It's going to be interesting.
I
All right. What else is going on?
Okay. So we caught up with Artem Chigvintsev from Dancing with the Stars to talk about his fiance, Nikki, how they're making it work as new parents while he's on Dancing with the Stars. Take a look at this.
Artem, with a little one at home, how are you getting so much sleep and being so energized still every week in rehearsals?
I have to say, like, Nicole is being a real trooper. I mean, literally during the nighttime, she breastfeed him, you know, she doesn't do the bottle during the night. And she's like, look, what are you going to do? Stand next to me and watch him feed? So she's like, just sleep. I know you have a tough day. So she's being super trooper for that. And I just cannot thank her enough for doing that, honestly. So she's been giving me time to sleep. Even though, again, it's not really a long time to sleep, but it's still like, it's. I have to say, like, she does make it easy on me, for sure.
Is he a good baby? Does he sleep a lot?
He is, you know what? He always kind of changes. He started teasing right now, which is tough because he's waking up because he's obviously uncomfortable. But I don't know, just looking at him, even like, I just know that every time I look at him, every time she posts a picture of him, I'm like, I can't believe this is still my baby. It's just ridiculous.
He's your twin.
Ridiculous.
Your twin.
And I don't know, like, we actually funny a lot of story. So we decided not to teach him mama and dada as the first word because we're so competitive with each other. So we said like, and Nicole said like, why don't we teach him I love you?
Oh, nice.
And he literally, I'm not kidding to you. He obviously not saying it in words, but he is like saying
He,
that,
like, mimics
intonation of him saying that after we say like, I love you, he's like, like it's like the most adorable thing ever.
He's a smart.
And Nicole probably hate me for me like revealing this, but I just like, I'm so happy that I like, you know what, it is what it is. So
Great,
yeah.
Okay, so what were your baby's first words?
My baby's first words were dada and hi. So dada and hi. I commend them for trying to make the first words I love you. I think that's a little ambitious.
A little ambitious, for sure. I think my son's was car, you know?
Really?
And maybe mama, dada. Yeah, mama, dada, I love you. I mean, that will be pretty amazing. I can't wait to see if it really does happen.
Yeah, I've been trying I love you for so long. We have just gotten the I, because now she just points to her eye. She's like, I. And that's as far as we've gotten. So, but if they can do it, please give us your tips and tricks.
Yeah, share your secrets with us.
Please do. Well, this is a good story. James Vanderbeek announced on Instagram that he and his family have reached their new destination. They have reached their new home in Texas after a week-long trip. Now, James has had a really tough 2020, and he kind of let everybody know about that on Instagram. He said, "We've landed. In the last 10 months, we've had 2 late-term pregnancy losses, each of which have put my wife, Kimberly, in the hospital. We spent Christmas break thinking she had a tumor. The doctor was wrong, thank God. A business colleague I hired hijacked the project and stabbed me in the back. I was prematurely booted off a reality dancing show I was favored to win in front of the whole world, and my mom died. And a shutdown due to the coronavirus pandemic." He went on to say that all of that led to some drastic changes in our lives and dreams and priorities and landed us here, overflowing with profound gratitude today. Now, the family of 6 spent 10 days on the road to Texas, along with their 2 new rescue pups, and they documented their trip from Los Angeles on Instagram, saying, "Sometimes a fuller life begins with an empty house." Now, on a podcast recently, she said, "I'm going through a process to leave. I mean, I birthed 3 kids in the home I'm living in, but, I got to get out of the concrete jungle for just a little bit." Sometimes, I feel like this pandemic has put a reset on a lot of different things and put priorities in perspective. And, maybe they just need to kind of start over.
I think so. I mean, I feel horrible. Like when he put it all into words about what happened in the entire year, you're kind of like, wait, what? Like all of this happened? Like I didn't know some of those things happened.
Right.
Them,
yeah.
And I understand like a lot of people are leaving big cities now and going to smaller suburbs, just because you don't need to be in the big city anymore because a lot of offices are closed. So I get it. And I mean, I wish them like all the best.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, what a hard year. And, like you said, you wish them nothing but the best. It feels like a lot of celebrities, like you said, are moving out of Los Angeles or, having second homes, other places where they can kind of get away and decompress. I mean, I know that you guys have kind of done the same, right?
We did. I mean, we didn't leave New York City for good because it's still like my heart, but we did find a house outside of New York City just to escape to on the weekends. And now that the kids are not going to school full time, our plan when it's done is to be out there, for a longer weekend if we can make that work. And plus space is an issue now. There's 5 of us in an apartment and it worked when everyone was on the go. But now that everyone's here and home, you're like, oh my God, there's like so many people here,
Yeah, no, you feel that you're like all on top of each other. Like you said, everybody was coming and going all the time. And now you're like, oh no, we need some space.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Like even, yeah, it's like, it's gotten to the point where I'm like, oh my God, like you're fighting again. What's going on? It is not easy.
You're like, I need some me time. I can't just lock myself in the bathroom.
Yes, exactly. Because someone's going to knock on the door and like need the bathroom. I'm like, leave me alone. I mean, like they're like fighting for like Zoom spots, like where they're going to have their Zoom call. You know what I mean? Like it's chaos.
I'm sure it's absolute chaos.
So we were able to catch up with Shaquille O'Neal, who opened up about whether or not he would let his daughters date an NBA player. Let's see what the basketball legend had to say.
I know the last time we spoke, I love this, that you said, your girls couldn't date until they were 25. Is that rule still on the table?
It's not that they can't date till they're 25. I just want them to know that I want them to be fully educated. I want them to be fully independent. I want them to have most of their goals accomplished. I'm not, once they get 18, and they become little mini adults, I'm not going to be the dad that says do this and do that and do that. I just try to, guide them in the right path. But in a perfect world, I like them to have bachelor's, master's, going into their own field where they can own their own company. They won't need anybody.
Yeah, definitely. Are they allowed to date NBA players?
Probably not.
Is that definitely a rule that's going to be instilled in them?
Yeah, probably not.
I love catching up with Shaq. He just keeps it real. And he mentioned that he doesn't want his daughters to date until they are 25. I don't know how they feel about that, but do you have a rule in your house of when your daughters can start dating?
I mean, my husband, makes jokes. He's like, you're not dating till you're 40, with my daughters all the time. I mean, we don't have a rule set yet, but I mean, that's a little late for me, 25. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, we'll see how it goes. My oldest daughter is 9. So I feel like we have a ways to go with that.
Yeah. Totally.
But we shall see.
I know. My daughter is almost 18 months and my husband's already like, same thing. She's not dating until she's 40. So.
Right. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Funny. Well, also this week we were able to catch up with Teddi Mellencamp, who gave us an update on how her baby Dove is doing post-surgery. plus how she's adjusting to life with 3 kids. Take a look. How is she doing?
She's doing great. She's wearing the doc band now, which is like the helmet. And the first couple days, it's always a little rough because they have to like get used to the skin, like their skin and it being hot, but she's doing great.
Good. I mean, that had to be such a scary experience.
It was, but babies are so resilient. It was so hard leading up to it. And then she blew me away. I'm like, I can only think if it was like myself or my husband going through that, what we would have been like. Mm-hmm. And she was just, she just wanted to be held and loved. And, she's such a fighter.
Well, I'm so glad that she is doing well, because like I said, that is like no news that a parent wants to hear.
No, definitely not. But, I'm glad we caught it when we did, because had we not, we'd be in an even tougher situation.
Was there anything harder about this time around? Like, was breastfeeding, I don't know if you're breastfeeding, was breastfeeding more difficult? Was losing weight more difficult this time around?
In regards to breastfeeding, I couldn't actually breastfeed, which it was hard because I found that out after the fact. So after I had Slate and Cruz, I had, breast augmentation. I had, I got my boobs done, and I didn't ever think I was going to have more kids. I didn't get pregnant naturally with them. And, Dove was a happy surprise. Mm-hmm. So when I was in the hospital, I was trying to breastfeed her and it just wasn't working. Yeah. And they had said, because of the surgery, there's a chance that you can't afterwards. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't aware, and I was super emotional about it, like cried about it for days. And then I just realized, like, okay, I have to just let this go, the important part is that she's fed.
Right.
Yep. And, I know that, yes, I was able to breastfeed the other kids, but that doesn't mean that I love Dove any differently, or that I'm not supporting her in the same way. And I really had to let go of that like mom guilt that comes along with something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got an elective surgery and now this has happened. But, I let it go, and now I can kind of laugh at it and go,
yeah.
Like, wow, Teddi, you're really taking yourself seriously there. Like, cut yourself some slack.
But it's true though. I mean, we put so much pressure on ourselves to, you think you're going into it a certain way. And then if things don't work out the way it does, you feel that mom guilt, but like you said, fed is best, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. And, I think what helped me was like, when I was in the hospital, there's a huge breastfeeding initiative. So they just kept trying. And the more that they were like using the pumps, and then the specialists coming in and they were like just getting ginormous, and nothing was happening. And then I was getting more emotional. And actually what my pediatrician, said to me was just, you've got to take everything out of it that makes it personal, and just say, I need to feed my baby. And that's the priority. Mm-hmm. And then once you do that, it's a lot easier. And then for me, it was also just telling our family, like, it sounds crazy, but we as moms, like, put so much like pressure on ourselves. It was like telling Edwin's family, like, I'm not able to breastfeed, and explain the reason. And then once you kind of get it out there, then you let it go.
It's good to see that her baby is doing well after that surgery, because that is not something that any parent ever wants to hear.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure it was so scary for her. So scary, but it's so nice to hear that the baby's doing well and is fully, recovering. So thank goodness for that.
Definitely.
Okay, so our Get Real moment of the week goes to new mom Shay Mitchell. The Pretty Little Liars alum shared this Instagram video of her squatting with her daughter on her shoulders for a leg day. I love how real this is, because there's no makeup, her hair is in a bun. You just got to do what you got to do. Like, there are times where I'm like trying to work out, and like my child is like speaking with their teacher literally feet away from me. You just got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to find the time, if like she did, she put her babies on her shoulders doing some squats and, made it work. I feel like when my baby was a little bit younger, like I would put her neck, in a little pack and play, and I would do my workout. Now she would just be crawling all over me. But yeah, you got to find the time, and you just got to do what you got to do.
Just got to do it. It's like a mommy and me yoga. You got to do with Tiana now.
Yes, I should. Totally. So time for our clapback of the week, and that goes to Bachelor Nation's Becca Martinez. Now, she defended putting her son Franklin in a bow after a follower, of course, commented, I'm confused. Is Frank a boy or a girl? Did I miss something? And another person wrote, he's such a cutie, but nix the bow, please. Becca fired back saying, do I do things sometimes like this to rile people up? Sure. I love to see them mad. Don't get it twisted. But with my leg hair, with putting Frank in a bow, with whatever the hell else I post, I also want to challenge people's ideas of what's right or wrong and what we should or shouldn't do. I mean, like,
I feel like she was like trying to get a rise, but
Yeah.
like, it's a bow. Who cares?
who cares? I mean, it's totally fine. It's a bow. He's a little baby. It makes no difference. It is right. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like, it's funny to hear my 7-year-old say something that if I'm saying like, oh, that looks, whatever I've said, like maybe like if my son is like, I don't want to wear like a pink shirt. My daughter's like, well, pink is not a girl color.
Right.
Boys can wear it too.
Yeah.
So it's funny to have that conversation in the house because who cares at this point? Like the bow is cute. I thought it was adorable.
Adorable. The baby is adorable. And like we've said so many times, people have so much to say, no matter what you post, good, bad, indifferent, people are going to have something to say and going to nitpick every little thing that you do. So Becca, keep being you and keep doing you.
Exactly.
Well, Brianne, thank you so much for running down all things moms with me this week.
Thank you, Christina. Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you, you too. Well, we're leaving you this week with shit no one told you about being a parent from Teddi Mellencamp. So see what she had to say and make sure to tune in every Thursday on Us Weekly's YouTube channel at 3 p.m. for moms like us. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
I always love asking parents this. What is one thing about parenting that you wish you knew before you had your kids?
That you're going to make mistakes and that it's okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to get surprised and every day is a new day and kids are really smart. You're not fooling them. Yeah. So I think those are like the biggest things. And like the same way I, tell myself or tell my clients or tell anyone, it's like, you've got to give yourself grace. Our kids do the same thing for us and for them, so you just teach them about being vulnerable and being open and honest and, it's really fun.